Now, Scott Morrison was on with Ray Hadley this morning on 2GB, talking about a much more serious matter.
Indeed.
What was the reaction?
Well, Scott Morrison, he rang into Ray Hadley and he was asked about Defense Minister Linda Reynolds' comments around the Brereton report on Afghanistan, where she said yesterday that the allegations were of cold-blooded murder by SAS troops. Scott Morrison uncomfortable with this language?
Justice Brereton has been incredibly clear, that all of the matters in his report are not those fog of war, split-second decisions about what I do next. These are all incidents of alleged cold-blooded murder.
We've got to deal with this. We can't pretend there's nothing to deal with here, and I think that's also understood. But we've got to do that sensitively. That's the course we're endeavouring to chart. I know people's feelings more than that, than feelings. People's even sense of identity is understandably linked to these issues.
Well, could I be as bold to suggest that you should talk to the Defence Minister to stop calling people cold-blooded murderers, as she did yesterday, and maybe that would alleviate some of the pain suffered by people who are dealing with a great deal of pain at the moment in relation to their service of this country.
Well, I understand your point, Ray. I understand it.
Christian Porter later also appearing to realise this issue is quite a problem for the government. This ADF issue, it's hurting the government at the moment, isn't it?
Well, the ADF issue, first and foremost, I think has to be dealt with as a matter of principle. And one of the first and foremost principles here is that at this stage, allegations, serious as they are, with respect to a tiny few in the ADF, should not be allowed to besmirch the reputation of the ADF at large or affect in an unfairly negative way the overwhelming majority of members of the ADF who serve their country so brilliantly. And that should be the defining principle.
My understanding is this ADF issue is the issue which is hurting the government the most at the moment, particularly this situation where the CDF said everyone would have their meritorious citations taken off them. People don't believe the government is backing the troops. In terms of those comments by Scott Morrison on Ray Hadley, that's not what you would want to hear ahead of a reshuffle if you were the minister, but my mail remains that Linda Reynolds will not be shifted from defence and it will be a minimalist reshuffle. Peter Dutton making it clear again with Peter Stefanovic this morning, or perhaps more clear than he ever has, that he doesn't want defence, even if Morrison's mate Stuart Robert wants Dutton's Home Affairs portfolio.
I don't think that's likely. I think I'm likely to stay in Home Affairs, and that ultimately is a decision for the Prime Minister.
If the Prime Minister says to you, righto, we're moving some parts around here, change is as good as a holiday, Mr Dutton, I want you to do defence, would you take it?
Peter, if he says to me, do you want to do defence, do you want to sit on the backbench, you know, do you want to go to the beach early this year?
You wouldn't go to the backbench, come on.
He's the boss, right? So you do as he says.